Hi, welcome to a video presentation. I'm Kathleen Macy Balolini from NSTP1. Health Education. This chapter highlights the facets of health education, good health triangle, personal hygiene and proper sanitation, disease immunization, common communicable disease and preventive measures, proper nutrition, food guide pyramid, family planning and drug abuse, prevention and penalties to drug abuse. The good health triangle. Health is a state of optimal physical, mental, and social well-being where the individual and all his body parts is able to perform his or her vital functions normally and properly. Mental health is defined as a state of emotional and psychological well-being in which an individual is able to use his or her cognitive and emotional capabilities, functions in society, and meet the ordinary demands of everyday life. Personal hygiene and proper sanitation is defined as the practice of an individual to safeguard his or her body and the health of others is observing precautionary protection. At times, personal hygiene alone may not protect one's body against the more common diseases like malaria, colds, dysentery, and diarrhea. Thus, immunization is needed to protect an individual from these diseases. A disease is any abnormal condition of the body or mind that causes discomfort, dysfunction, or disease to the person. Diseases may be caused by a variety of organisms such as bacteria, viruses, fungi, parasites, and protozoans. These are the top 10 killer diseases in the Philippines: pneumonia, diarrhea, influenza, hypertension, tuberculosis, heart disease, malaria, chickenpox, measles. We have also the common diseases and their preventive measures: sore eyes, chronic bronchitis, common cold, chickenpox, cholera, whooping cough, measles, pneumonia, tuberculosis, asthma, dengue, SARS, AH1N1. Proper nutrition. Nutrition is the science of food, the scientific study of the nutrients and other substances in the ingestions, digestions, absorptions, transport, utilization, and exertion of food substances and wastes. Basic nutrients and food. A nutritious diet is an adequate amount of essential nutrients and fibers, enough energy from carbohydrates, lipids and proteins, and moderate amount of salt, sodium, and sugar, and low amount of fat. Below is the food guide pyramid. The food guide pyramid was adopted by the U.S. Agriculture Department in 1992 as a replacement for the 4 food groups scheme that had been used to teach children about nutrition since the 1950s. A carbohydrate in the body's primary fuel source. The body processes carbohydrates into glucose. Proteins are the main structural building blocks of the body for growth, maintenance, and repair of body tissues. They are needed to make muscle, skin, hair, nails, connective tissue, collagen, and cartilage. Lipids are fats and oils that are insoluble in water and that are soluble in other solvents such as other and benzene. Water is a solvent, lubricant, and medium for the transport of nutrients and wastes and for the regulation of temperature and chemical processes. Family planning. The concept of family planning is to enhance the quality of life by regulating or spacing the children to promote the health of the mother and the child. These are the family planning methods. Drug abuse and prevention. A drug is a chemical substance that affects the function of living cells and others' body or mind processes when taken into the body or applied through the skin. Drug abuse is the overuse or consumption of drugs other than for medical reasons. Below is the signs and symptoms of drug abuse. Classification and commonly abused drugs. Number 1 is a suppressant. Number 2, narcotics. Number 3 is stimulants. Number 4 is the hallucinogens. And the last is the inhalants. Penalties against drug abuse. Peace education. Every individual is unique in his/her own ways. It is uniqueness that is being shared and expressed with others through introduction of who you are and seek to know the identities of others. Below is the common identity factors that affect your identity and the solutions to achieve. Generally, people may feel insecure about their identities when surrounded by others and familiar to them. In such circumstances, we tend to be guarded and reserved. It shows how much we can be dependent on others for our own sense of security and well-being. We tend to avoid situations that expose us to ridicule or embarrassment. Where do our human rights come from? Who gave them to us? Water is vital for life. The source of fresh water comes from high place. Values and rights, likewise, are the source too that comes from a high place. The preamble to our constitutions gives us very deep insight about the source of our human value and rights. They come from the high source, from Almighty God. There are two universal principles. We are created by God, and each of us has unchanging value. And number 2, we have rights given to us by God that should not be taken away from us by anyone. It means that every individual is entitled to dignity, respect, and liberty as a human birthright. Our rights come from God, not government. And secondly, when civic institutions, their leaders, and the people recognize this fundamental truth, then together everybody can build a happy and ethical society. These are the responsibilities that come from human rights. Rights, responsibility, moral and ethical society. Our individual human rights are described in our Constitution. This is the reason why reading and understanding the Constitution is so vitally important. Having human rights doesn't mean I can do as I please. The rights comes from the responsibility of having human rights. We cannot expect to live in moral and ethical society. Without this, we cannot be truly free. These are the common responsibility of citizenship. Obey the law, pay taxes, perform civic duties such as community service, serve in the military, participate in election. Live for the greater good. There is also more essential responsibility that we must fulfill in order to maintain our rights. We must be virtuous people. Building unity and peace through shared values. We trust and help each other when we share the same valued interests. From transcendent principle comes shared values, and from common values we develop commonly held standards about behavior. Every group has values and principles that bind the group together, and all the members of pluralistic society adopt the core value of living for the greater good. It opens the way to the understanding and recognition of the values we held in common. A culture of peace through service. Service to others ultimately means working toward a peaceful world in which all can experience prosperity and happiness. Living involves relationship. In order to embrace such a lifestyle, one must understand that enduring happiness and fulfillment is achieved by foregoing one's own self-interest for the sake of the greater good. It means that we can experience greater fulfillment by living unselfishly and developing a heart of compassion. Serving others is living for the greater good. Ultimately, the value of living in service to others is simply the value of love. It is a value that must be implemented for the real experience of love to occur, for love to be exchanged between two. Service is peace building. The most powerful result for peace can be achieved when we reach out and engage in loving service to others, especially to those that we may have experienced conflict with the past. When we give service to others, we are making a statement of action. Our action speaks the truth that Almighty deserves equal value and respect because we come from one source and we live in one home, a family together under God. We have two levels of literacy based on its purpose: basic literacy and functional literacy. Community needs assessment. In your community, cite some problems and are the guide in assessing community needs. These are the components of action plan: goal, program, objective, strategy, target date, persons involved, estimated budget, expected output. That would be all.